I think a lot of us secretly believe that if we stop achieving, we stop mattering. This is something that's been on my mind a lot recently as I'm reevaluating what I want to do with my life as I'm moving towards the 40s and particularly in my career. And the current answer I would like to give you to the question, who am I if I'm not achieving, would be hopefully somebody who is building a life that she doesn't need to escape from. This is my new goal for success professionally. And if you resonate with that, and if you've been thinking recently, oh, you know what, actually, I don't really fit anymore in that old definition of success, this constant achievement. Maybe you call yourself a reformed high achiever or somebody who wants to stay away from hustle. I feel you, I understand you, and I know it's not an easy task to move yourself from this mindset that you might have had in the past of always focusing on achievement versus changing that definition and what it could look like. And there is a lot of identity work to do there for sure. But for me, it has become obvious over the last decade basically that the way I was living my life through achievement is not really healthy for me. And it has not necessarily been like big moments, but sometimes it's just like, comments or things that are happening that are giving me a sense that something is not fully right. And one of the first things I can remember was a few years back, was around 10 years ago, when I was in a job and the job was ending, and the manager was really trying to keep me in the company. He was really happy with my work. He was always saying, "You are always on. You're always delivering," and he kind of tried to map a full career plan for me. And this is the first thing you need to do, and then we can put you there. And he was talking about different things related to career, and for me, I was like, that does not match what I want. There was no alignment between all he was trying to build for me versus what I actually wanted. And there was also this mindset about you are always on, and I was like, I'm always on when I'm at work, but actually I'm always crashing when I go back home in the evening, or if you see me on holidays, I'm not fully on, I'm fully off. Like I have literally zero energy left, and I'm just like doing nothing, because that's actually better for me. And there was always this kind of a disconnect between, you are achieving, but you're so tired. And, the thing that people are trying to show you as career development and evolution is actually like something is wrong. And I was not really able at the time to put a finger on what exactly is happening there. But it was always at the back of my mind already as a first, as a first warning sign that, the typical corporate career was not fully fitting 100%, even though I was good at it and I was achieving and I was being promoted easily. But there was already this first red flag. And it has continued towards, as I was moving towards my career, because sometimes I was delivering projects that were really good. Like the people I'm serving are really happy. They're like, oh my God, thank you for that. You put some structure. You really helped us there. You were really able to, to do the work at a very high level, and we still use that. And there was a quality in the work I was delivering. I was not like, underperforming per se. But when I was hearing that, I was like, yeah, but this is actually, boring. Or this is, yeah, I'm happy you like it because it serves you, but it doesn't make me feel fulfilled. Like it's even too easy for me sometimes, but it's also like, yeah, I can achieve that. I can deliver that. I will, do it with the best level possible. But at the end of the day, I started feeling quite empty inside, and really like just what people were considering good work and excellent work and things that would be successful for me was like, there is something inside that makes me feel numb. There is something that is missing. I don't really feel joy. I don't really feel engagement in what I do. And I don't really want to, spend my life doing that. And I moved afterwards towards entrepreneurship. And this was for me like a way better, fulfilling type of career I was imagining. But what happened in entrepreneurship is that you have like the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So sometimes you can deliver, sometimes you can achieve, and there are success moments when you get a client or you get good financial results or you are helping somebody. There's a lot of like moments where you can feel that you've achieved, but there are also a lot of moments where you're actually doing stuff where there is no results, where there is no outcome. And I realized during this period that actually that made me very unhappy as well. And what I learned from that is that I was actually attaching my identity, my self-worth, particularly how good I feel about myself if I was delivering something. And in the corporate world, it's easy because you basically, people keep feeding you work. So you just have to complete the task and achieve. And then people were going to be, yeah, you did a great job and we promote you. In entrepreneurship, that's not how it works. You need to keep going. But a lot of it is also working on yourself. A lot of it is maybe like, it's work, but it's more personal growth. It's more things that are a little bit more invisible versus the real result or the real outcome or the financial benefits. And I realized how unhealthy my relationship was with achievement during that 4 years period of entrepreneurship, because there was nothing I could not achieve. Like if I did not have a client, then I could not achieve results. If I did not perform well in marketing, I could not get visibility. So there are a lot of things that I was doing a lot, but there was no achievement, and that was even less fulfilling than just doing blind work and doing something. So I realized I had to kind of change a little bit my relationship with achievement in general already there, and that actually there was no real option, whether it was corporate or entrepreneurship. I needed to change something there. So this is what I've been really focusing on and trying to redefine who I am if I achieve less or if I achieve differently. That's mainly the question mark here. And I've had to unlearn a lot of things in the last few years. So there are a few changes that I made that maybe would be helpful for you if you're also in this phase where you are like, I would like to do less, but still be ambitious. Of course, you don't really want to, like throw away any goals or anything, but just do it in a way that doesn't feel like your entire identity depends on whether or not you're achieving something. And the first thing that I've stopped doing is working in the wrong environment. I'm currently looking for a new role at the moment, and when I'm watching job offers, I'm like, okay, let me first check, is this a company that is actually healthy in terms of performance mindset, in terms of achievement? I have been in places through my entire life where it wasn't. Like even starting from school, after high school, I did what we call prep school in France to end up in engineering schools. And these prep schools are very competitive. It's a very, like elite level type of organizations. And you basically spend 2 years sponging learning. Like they feed you mathematics and physics and chemistry, and they feed you like 10 hours a day, and then you have to spend 4 hours during the night to try to absorb all of that, because the next day they do the same, and like their exams all the time and things like this. And this is very elite level, but I always felt good in this environment because I was trying to think like this. When I look back, that was so toxic. I cannot believe it. But yeah, we were told that this was the way to have a successful career in France, at least, is to work really hard, get into this, do all these preparation schools, and then at the end of 2 years, you go through competitive exams, and then you get placed in the best schools in France, and that's when you've achieved success, right? And yeah, that's a very elitist type of thinking. Same thing in the organizations, the companies that worked after that school. It was always like big organizations, like 10,000 plus people, or they are in the top 1, 2, or 3 in that specific industry. So you also work a lot with people who are very, very competent, very intelligent, very smart. But there is also this mindset around that you need to achieve. If you are working in these companies, you can't be lazy. You have to deliver. If you're not delivering, you are going to get kicked out at some point. So there was a lot of toxicity in terms of like. You were expecting to do. You're expecting to be constantly working. You're expecting to be overworking and be happy with it. And when I was in this environment, I was thinking like this too. I was like, "Ooh, look how great I am. Look how how much resilience I have to work this number of hours that makes absolutely no sense." And I realize now, looking back, it was like we were kind of programmed to things like this, and it's not very healthy in any shape or form for well-being and for mental health. But when I was in there, I could not see that. I could not see because everybody was doing the same thing. And now I'm looking at organizations that are the opposite of that. I'm looking at small organizations because I've realized that entrepreneurship actually is better for me, because then you can really choose what level you achieve. But if you're also achieving something, it's more meaningful because you are actually doing things that are moving the company forward. So I'm looking for small organizations, and I'm looking for organizations where they talk about being excellent, but also mental health, but also well-being. It needs to be something that they really advertise as part of their culture, and actually make sure that they live it, because this for me is it's a different way of achieving. If you're thinking about performance, but you are also finding a way to do it where there is well-being, you are a more advanced organization to work with, rather than an organization where you're just expected to work and that's it. So I'm really very careful about not choosing places that are too competitive, not choosing too big organizations where I'm going to be lost into a flow of people who are just trying to be high achievers and being proud of it, and really find quality environment that can also help me unlearn all this mindset that were not very healthy to begin with. Coming with that, I'm also looking at more role models. So finding people who are actually building lives or businesses or career that are really still achieving, like still good level of results, but they're also talking about how spacious their life is, how much time they have for their routines, how much, energy they get, how much they can travel, like more like quality of life. I really want to be around people who are thinking like this, and really want to get almost disgusted by people who are not thinking like this. Like if I meet somebody and they are just talking about achievement, I want to get them out of my life without having to think about it. I really want to train my brain to see that as basically as a red flag, that these people are not really yet evolved enough to have understood that achievement is not everything in life. And that takes a bit of work, obviously, to find these right sources of people, because it's not always what is demonstrated online. It's more like, oh, look how great I worked, and I woke up very early and I did all these things before everybody else, and kind of superior because I'm hustling. And it's very hard to find role models that are not performing like this. So I'm still looking for some, but it's something that I'm consciously thinking about. And even just the normal people I work with, I always pay attention how they prioritize their ambitions and their achievement versus real life. I also, in terms of how I think about my life right now and my self-worth particularly, this was an area where I had to do a little bit more work. So one thing I've done is now disconnecting my career from my identity completely. Like not completely disconnecting it, but like saying, okay, my identity is not just my work. My identity is my hobbies, is my health, is my finances, is the people I spend time around, the places where I volunteer. So basically trying to find achievement in different areas of my life that are also meaningful as my career, and really recognizing these ones as achievement as well, rather than just I'm a good person, I'm really worth it because I've done this at work. It's like, no, I'm an amazing person because look at how my health is right now, or look at what I did in this volunteering experience where I was an amazing leader and I really helped the event go well. Like, it's just finding different ways to see where achievement is actually achieved outside of work, and kind of like compounding all that, so that my self-worth is built on multiple angles, not just one, and not just the work basically. And that really helps balancing things a little bit better, or at least not over focusing in work only. And that's just a different mindset of where you are getting your self-worth. I also have changed, in the same principle, what I define as success. So I was sharing in a former video, if you want to go check this one, I was sharing that I have now a new definition for what a good day is. And that good day has only one question about, have I been productive today? Have I done something today? Everything else is about creativity, is about mental health, is about learning things. And the way I assess a good day, or the way I assess if I'm satisfied with my own achievement that day, is totally different than what it used to be in the past. In the past was just, have I ticked the box and done something on my to-do list for work? And now it's really more balanced. It's more like, easy questions like, did I learn something today? Was I inspired by somebody? Or did I notice something beautiful happening out there that helped me feel a different connection with the world? These are things that are, first of all, way easier to achieve. So that means I can have good days most days. But also it brings me in a better place in terms of mental health, in terms of how I navigate my life, how I see the quality of my life, and that has been very helpful as well. So sometimes it's just changing the achievement metrics that you are using to measure yourself, and say, actually, you know what, work, okay, maybe I moved one thing today for work that was meaningful. That's a great achievement. But what are the other things that I've also achieved today that are different and more healthy, or more aligned with the quality of life that I'm actually looking for? So if you haven't done this type of exercise, I really recommend you to check what is your definition of a good day, and what are you measuring achievement on a daily basis. That can give you some different ideas. I also, in the same principle of what am I measuring my identity or my success on, I also try to base it more on values rather than tasks to complete. So for instance, my self-worth right now is also that I'm a creative person. This is not a part of me that I would have connected with before, because I used to work too much and my brain was always in a logical place and delivering mode. And I only became creative when I slowed down my life a little bit, and when I really made space for these things. And this is a big part of me. This is a part of me, like if I look at my creativity and my stuff, my painting out there, this makes me feel proud of myself. This gives me a sense of self-worth that I've done something and it's actually a beautiful thing, and it's really it wasn't there before, so I created something, but it's not yeah, it's nothing to work. It's just linked to different aspects of me, different facets of my personality that are equally valuable. And again, it's like, again, it's kind of balancing things, but by looking at different aspects of me rather than just the person achieving. And that also can create a stronger foundation. So same thing, for instance, I'm somebody who would describe herself as courageous. So if I do things on the day that are courageous, then it reinforces my self-worth rather than I'm just a person who does things and deliver things. If that's the only lens I have, then it's harder to match. But if there are different angles of my personality that I can show every single day, then I will also feel satisfied. So it's just like finding different ways to find your self-worth in different manners that are not just what you've been doing that day. And outside of this, so the last thing I can share today that I'm also doing to help with removing all these patterns of overachievement is to learn to do things for no fucking reason. That is something that I didn't used to do in the past. I used to be more, okay, if I do something, it has to be aligned with a goal. But nowadays, I do creative painting every day. I do things, like this video challenge that I'm doing right now for you is absolutely, there's no goal there. It's just me like playing and testing stuff and, going for it because an idea was interesting and I'm just following the breadcrumbs that led me there. And that's also a very different mindset than achievement, because technically I'm achieving stuff, I'm doing stuff, but I'm not attaching it to a goal. I'm not attaching it to a specific outcome. I'm not attaching it to any results. And this feels a little bit freeing because it's like I can do things that I like, I can feel the joy, and I do not need to do it perfectly. I do not need to do it every single day if I don't want to. So there is a kind of like freedom also that I'm training in my brain to unlearn that achievement needs to lead to results. It's more like do things whenever you feel like doing them. Oops, sorry, bumping the table every time. But anyway, so yeah, it's like trying to train different parts of my brain to see achievement in different ways. So it's really unlearning all the unhealthy training I received when I was young. Stop spending my time around people who are only achieving and try to find people who are a little bit more evolved with more spaciousness. And having this new definition of self-worth and success and what a good day look like that are not linked to doing things, but more like, my values or the different areas of my life or different success metrics. And yeah, training yourself to do things for just the pure sake of it and the pleasure of it. This is a whole different mindset training I'm putting myself through that I hope is going to lead to result, because I still want to grow, I still want to create, I still want to build, I still have some ambitions, even though they look differently than what they used to in the past. But yeah, for me, it's like not attaching my identity, my self-worth to achievement anymore is the biggest shit that I'm trying to do at the moment. And hopefully that will lead to a higher quality of life and hopefully the right opportunities and really open more things in my life than what I used to do in the past. And that's still a work in progress, as you can probably hear. I'm still testing and playing with different things, but I think the journey in itself is worth it, and it really gave me a lot of different perspective on who I am as a person, how I navigate the world, and hopefully that inspires you as well to do less in your life. Stop calling yourself a high achiever. Start calling yourself whatever you want that makes you feel good about yourself. And if you don't know me yet, if you're new on this channel, my name is Chloe. And I'm currently doing a 80 days video challenge where I post daily on YouTube, and I'm trying to capture all that I've learned and all that I want to unlearn before I turn 40. So we are at day 24. That means 56 days left to continue this journey. So if you're interested, if you want to also think about your life a little bit deeper, follow this journey, you can subscribe for the channel, and I see you tomorrow for the next video.